Friday, July the 12th, 2013, and I'm down in Hampshire, just about to undertake Book 2, Walk 11, Petersfield to Liss, right over in the far reaches of the South Downs National Park, a quieter patch of the park. A walk I last did about 4 years ago, again using my mobile phone, which I'm using today because the Handycam finally collapsed last week and needs to go in for repair. So I don't know what kind of quality we'll get today, but it can't be any worse than the last time I recorded this walk, which again was on a mobile phone, but it rained that day, so I didn't get many shots at all. Today the weather's pretty good, blue skies, sun's a bit obscured by low-level cloud, but due to break that up shortly. It's about 12 noon, to say 11 miles to do, so it should be done by 5 or 6. So early doors, we're straight into the Hangers Way. Interesting, just coming up to the A3 footbridge, which you may be able to hear in the background, and thus far I don't recall any of this walk, even though it was 3.5 years ago, unlike the Lewis Rodmell walk, which I recall very well. This one's just not slipping into my memory at the moment, possibly because it was raining and I wasn't that interested in it, can't remember. Anyway, All Saints Church in the village of Steep, which is interestingly named. And from another angle, information panel here about ancient semi-natural English woodland that I'm about to enter in the parish of Steep. And another, and very cooling in here it is as well. Just come at the right time of day really. It's about 12:35, 12:40, midday sun and all that, mad dogs and Englishmen. On my right there you've got the wooded slopes of Shoulder of Mutton Hill, which we will be climbing shortly, and some sheep with their ewes. I'm not going to do much zooming today because that will drain my battery, which is already being depleted quite quickly, I notice. Anyway, you'll get a lot of landscapes today. There you can see clearly our steep ascent up that tree break. The waterfall at Mill Corner. So I will. Thank you. And here is the view from the viewpoint. Okay, about to undertake the steep ascent of Shoulder of Mutton Hill. Having previously done the longer, gentler ascent, but there is approximately half a mile diversion, if that's what you need to do. Just entering Ashford Hangers National Nature Reserve. This wasn't here last time I was here, I'm sure. About halfway up, this is the view. Much better than last time I was here, that's for sure. Wonderful. Okay, the view from the memorial to Edward Thomas. Absolutely delightful today. So different to the last time I was here, as you well know if you've watched the other video. What a fantastic view with the downs over there in the background. About 600 foot up here, I believe. I'll check that in a moment. There's the memorial. And just over here on my left, which I wouldn't find on any other day at the weekend for sure, is an empty seat. It's 1:15, just in time for my lunch. Fantastic. Delightful view. Okay, around 2 o'clock, information panel here about the viewpoint, Shoulder of Mutton Hill. Nice and cool in here now, away from the heat of the lunchtime seat. And there is incidentally another seat at the top, which is in the shade. Forgot about that. As I say, not much of this walk I can remember at the moment. Anyway, onwards and upwards. Views northwestward and then north towards Hawkley. This is a classic hanger, which means in Old English a wooded hill. This one being mixed beech and yew. Hawkley ahead of us there with its church. What a lovely vista this is. Bit of pleasant valley walking just on the outskirts of Hawkley. Interesting, there's a small tree down blocking the route just outside Hawkley. Diversion would involve walking through stinging nettles. Let's see if I can get through it. And the answer is no, you can't get through it. You have to walk round through the stinging nettles at the moment. Fantastic bracket fungus there. Early in the year for it, but there you go. Some further fine views on the edge of Hawkley. Another one of these wild flower verges that you often see in Hampshire. Not many wild flowers in it though. Lovely little lane though. Okay, the text refers to the Hawkley Arms, but in fact this pub's called the Hawkley Inn. It's a free house, unless it's changed its name since the text was written. It's now 10 to 3, so a bit late for lunch, even if they were serving now, which I don't think they are. However, I set off late, so bearing that in mind, if you catch the 10 o'clock train, knock off half an hour that I took for lunch and a half-hour start, you'd be here around 2. So you probably just would get in here in time for lunch. Look at those swifts, fantastic. There are the opening times. You have to ask about food as well.
I brought that sign from Australia then.
The church at Hawkley, where I took lunch in the storm porch there a couple of years ago. The pub serves food between 12 and 2:30, so I found out when I was in there, made inquiries, and it has never been called the Hawkley Arms. Many moons ago it was called the Queen's Head or something like that. Okay, the village green, and on this day that I'm walking, I've just heard that the veteran traveller Alan Wicker has died. It's a sad day to be doing this walk. Hawkley and its church and surrounding scenery. More delightful woodland walking on the edge of Hawkley. Another hanger here. Emerging from the woods into glorious sunshine. The woods provide a pleasant respite from the midday heat. Well, midday it's 3, so pretty warm. Now interestingly, these are the fields where I had problems with the cows and a bull before. This time luckily though, the bull is in this field up there with that herd, and my onward journey is undisturbed by cattle today, which is fantastic. This is exactly where the problems occurred, so I'm pleased to see that I won't be having issues today. Passing the pond referred to in the text, and I noticed today that the water levels down here are incredibly low considering the amount of rain we had. This pond is half empty. Battery's getting low, so I won't be doing much more video recording. Apart from in the city, I've never seen a fox so brazen. Clearly the heat's brought him out, or her out. Bold as brass is looking at me. They're not usually that brave in the countryside. There it goes. Now it's heard me talking. Wonderful valley walking here. Very little battery power left, so I'm keeping shots to a minimum now. Views from a point not far from Slip Cottage referred to in the text. Okay, coming to the end of the walk now. Battery's so low that the flash isn't working, hence this is a dark image. But this is St Peter's International Presbyterian Church, just outside Liss. Not sure if you can see that in the gloom. Built in 1639, Henry Payne's gift. Approaching Liss Church with, as you can see on the left, some new houses which probably weren't there when the text was written. Not far to go now, around 5:30 now. Leaving St Mary Liss. Okay, back at Liss, waiting for the 6:02 train now. That was a wonderful walk. Shame the battery on my mobile phone went low. Also a shame I didn't have my handy cam, but there you go. That was absolutely delightful walking. Lots of variety, some fantastic scenery, a nice peaceful part of the country. So highly recommended. So that's book 2, walk 11, completed again, and highly recommended, especially on a day like today. Fantastic. Perfect walking weather, nice cool breeze alongside some sunshine.